Welcome to Intellings, where we explore powerful books that challenge perspectives and expand our understanding of the world. Today, we dive into Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, a book that has impacted millions and continues to shape discussions about resilience, suffering, and the human pursuit of purpose. First published in 1946, Man's Search for Meaning has sold over 16 million copies and has been translated into 52 languages. In a 1991 survey conducted by the Library of Congress and the Book of the Month Club, it was listed as one of the 10 most influential books in America. The book remains a cornerstone of psychological literature, often recommended alongside works by Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, presents a profound narrative about his time in Nazi concentration camps. He shares the horrific conditions, loss, and unimaginable suffering he endured while being imprisoned at Auschwitz-Dachau and other camps. However, rather than simply detailing these tragedies, Frankl takes a philosophical and psychological approach to survival, exploring why some people found meaning despite immense suffering, while others gave up. From his experiences, Frankl developed logotherapy, a psychological framework that argues that finding meaning in life is the most powerful driving force in human existence. Unlike Freud's focus on pleasure or Adler's focus on power, Frankl believed that meaning is the key to human fulfillment. He famously wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost anyhow." This phrase captures the core of his philosophy, emphasizing that if individuals can find meaning in their suffering, they can endure and even grow from it. In the concentration camps, he observed that prisoners who had had something to live for, whether it was faith, family, or unfinished goals, were more likely to survive than those who saw no purpose in their suffering. The book has received overwhelming praise from readers and critics alike. Gordon Allport, a renowned psychologist who wrote the book's preface, described it as one of the most moving accounts of human resilience ever written. On Amazon, the book has an average rating of 4.8 out of 5 stars, with readers calling it life-changing profound, and a book that everyone should read at least once in their lifetime. One Amazon reviewer wrote, "This book is both heartbreaking and deeply inspiring. It reminds us of the strength of the human spirit and how even in the darkest moments, we can find purpose and hope." Over on Goodreads, where the book also holds a high rating, a reader commented, "This book completely changed my perspective on suffering. Instead of avoiding pain, Frankl teaches us how to confront it with meaning and dignity." Several major media outlets have also reviewed Man's Search for Meaning. The New York Times called it a book that should be required reading for anyone seeking a deeper understanding of life suffering and resilience. Meanwhile, The Guardian described it as a timeless classic that provides a roadmap for finding meaning in an increasingly chaotic world. Despite its widespread acclaim, Man's Search for Meaning has not been without its critics. Some psychologists and historians argue that Frankl's emphasis on meaning could unintentionally blame victims for their suffering. Lawrence L. Langer, a scholar specializing in Holocaust literature, criticized Frankl for suggesting that survivors found meaning in suffering while millions of others perished. He argued that this perspective risks oversimplifying the reality of mass genocide. Similarly, Richard Middleton Kaplan raised concerns that Frankl's theory implies that those who died in concentration camps did so because they lacked resilience or failed to find meaning. He cautioned that such an interpretation could lead to an unfair moral judgment on those who suffered and perished. Another criticism comes from the field of modern psychology, where some experts argue that logotherapy lacks empirical evidence compared to more established psychological approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy. While Frankl's ideas have inspired many, some professionals believe that his philosophy is more of a personal belief system rather than a scientific framework. Despite these criticisms, Man's Search for Meaning remains one of the most important books on resilience and human purpose. Many of Frankl's insights continue to resonate with people facing personal struggles, depression, or existential crises. Some of the key takeaways include the idea that suffering is unavoidable, but how we respond to it defines us. Frankl repeatedly stresses that we cannot always control our circumstances, but we can control our response to them. This idea is reflected in his famous line, When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Another lesson is that meaning is subjective but necessary. Each individual must find their welcome to Intellings, where we explore powerful books that challenge perspectives and expand our understanding of the world.